Leave me alone!
I'm sorry, but I have to say it. I absolutely dislike the Kylo Ren and Rey romance. It felt like it came completely out of nowhere. I remember sitting there in the theater, totally shocked. Like, wait, what? Since when was this a thing? And I don't say this to sound dramatic. I genuinely thought the romance was supposed to be between Rey and Finn. That's what The Force Awakens set up. That's what the entire first movie made me believe. Their bond was natural. They had chemistry, they had trust, they actually built a friendship first. Then suddenly, out of nowhere, the sequel trilogy decided, you know what? Let's make Rey and Kylo a thing. And it just didn't work. Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. Obviously this is just my opinion and you can totally disagree. Let me know down below if you disagree. Just do it in a nice, respectful way because I'm doing this in a nice and respectful way. I'm totally interested on other people's opinion about this, and obviously this is not something that's serious and we need to get up in arms over. It's just something that's fun and I wanted to talk about. And it's my channel and I can talk about whatever I want to talk about. So if you enjoyed this type of content, please like and subscribe and let's continue. Now don't get me wrong, I thought The Force Awakens was okay. Not perfect, but decent. It had potential. The story was setting up some interesting characters. Rey and Finn had this sweet connection that felt believable. But then The Last Jedi came along and did a complete 180. Suddenly, Rey and Kylo were having these strange, forced, telepathic conversations through the Force. Touching hands across dimensions, staring into each other's eyes like it was supposed to be profound or something. To me, it didn't feel like Star Wars. It felt awkward. It felt like a fan fiction plotline, and somehow it made it to the big screen, if I'm being honest. The biggest issue I have is that it felt completely forced. There was no real buildup, no emotional groundwork that made me think, yeah, I could totally see them falling for each other. Instead, it was like writers decided they needed a Beauty and a Beast style romance to make Kylo more sympathetic and Rey more conflicted. But it ended up doing the opposite. It made both of them less believable. Kylo literally kidnapped and tortured Rey in the first movie. Let that sink in. And then, a film later, she is seeing the good in him and risking everything for him? It just felt wrong. Like the story was trying to rewrite who they were for the sake of having a dramatic kiss. And that kiss. Oh my gosh, that kiss. I was cringing the entire time. There was zero tension built up to that moment. It didn't feel earned, it didn't feel emotional. It felt like they wanted a shock moment that people would talk about online or get everybody excited about it. I mean, obviously it worked because I'm here talking about it online. And honestly, that's the saddest part. Because Rey and Kylo had potential for this new canon of Star Wars without being romantic. And if you watch my previous video about Zutara, you know how I don't agree with the new canon of Star Wars, but that's different. That's like, it's another story for another time. They were two sides of the same coin, the light and the dark, constantly pulling against each other. They could have been this powerful example of balance, redemption, inner conflict without needing to kiss at the end. Instead, a story reduced all the complexity to, oh, they're soulmates now. And it just felt cheap. Now, this is another hot take. I also think the whole romance existed just so Rey could take the Skywalker name at the end, which makes me roll my eyes every single time. I can't, that's like the most, ugh.
Rey. Rey who? Rey Skywalker.
Oh, brother, this guy stinks!
Because here's the thing, she didn't need to call herself Rey Skywalker. That moment was supposed to feel empowering, but instead it felt hollow. She had her own identity, her own strength, her own story, because apparently her grandpa, Mr. Old Palpatine, came back and he has his own story that's now her story. So why did she feel like she needed to take on the Skywalker story when we already had characters with that story? We had Luke Skywalker, we also had Ben Skywalker, and even though Leia is an Organa, she still has Skywalker blood and tied to that Skywalker story. She wasn't a Skywalker, and that's okay. She didn't have to borrow someone else's name to matter. She didn't need to be tied to Kylo or Luke or anyone else to be significant. Rey could have stood on her own as Rey, just Rey. And that would have meant so much more. Maybe I'm a sequel hater. I am. I really am. There is no maybe. There are some things that are good and some things that are horrible, and then there's some things that are just like, oh, it's okay, it doesn't really matter. But if it wasn't that, the romance just didn't work. It felt so out of place. It felt unearned, awkward, totally disconnected from The Force Awakens and how that started. Rey and Finn had potential to be a good ship, another relationship. Rey and Kylo had the potential to be something meaningful. They didn't have to be romantic, but they could have had this meaningful relationship. But instead, the story gave us a rushed, forced relationship that never felt like love, just a convenient plot device. And that's why I dislike the Kylo Ren and Rey romance. Not because I don't care about the characters, but because I cared about what they could have been. Anyway, that's the end of this video. Please tell me what you think down below, and please remember to not hate on the actors. They're doing their job. This has nothing to do with the actors. This is me critiquing the story and the plot and their characters, not the people themselves. Like, we need to remember to separate that, because that is a big issue in the film industry, where people hate a character so much they in turn hate the actor who portrayed them, and that's completely wrong. We need to have an understanding that they're just doing their part and they're just doing their job at the end of the day. So let's not get that confused. And when you're watching this video, please don't comment that I'm hating on the actors or I just hate Star Wars, because that's not the case. If I hated Star Wars, I wouldn't even be making this video. So anyways, that's it. Okay, I'll see you later. Bye.
Go on. In fact, I think I